Hi, my name's Mike.
My name is Donnie.
And we're the Weather Dudes. And today's movie we're going to weather is
The Help. The Help, it takes place in Jackson, Mississippi during the 1960s, like civil rights segregation era.
And it actually deals with the black maids and their so-called white employers.
One of the white ladies, not the employers, but one of the white girls named Skeeter, she just graduates from college. And she decides she's coming back to Jackson, and she decides she wants to write a book on the Help, from the Help perspective.
And she asks Maybelline to help her, and Maybelline reluctantly doesn't want to do this due to the fact, of course, consequences of losing her job, or even worse could happen to her. Her best friend, Minnie, happens to catch on to this and gives her a mouthful, but also decides she's going to help with the book also.
Minnie, being the comic relief she is, gives a literal meaning to eat crap. This movie, it's about their individual stories coming together, and talking about their employers and how it sucks.
What really it's about the actual book, how it became about, what process to get it where it was today.
And why it's so important.
Yeah. And we want to tell you also, it took us 3 weeks to get to this movie due to the fact we thought this was a woman's movie. I looked at the movie poster. I thought it was a woman's movie. What I read for lyrics said woman's movie on it. I had 2 women actually tell me to see this movie. Fortunately, we decided to go see this movie, which was a good thing. So the only really thing come up cliche-wise is never judge a book by its cover.
That's for sure. Because if we would have judged it, we wouldn't have seen this, and that's a great movie. Track record speaks for itself. It made $120 million so far. It's only budget for $25 million, so that's really good. It's been in #1 for almost 3 weeks in a row.
So that tells you a lot about the movie. And I thought the acting was really superb in it. They actually got the period down really well. I thought I was down south when I was watching this movie. This movie made me laugh. This movie made me cry.
And this big guy over here has a heart in the freezer. So the fact that he cried means his heart is not quite in the freezer like he thinks it is.
I didn't cry really bad, but it was still one worth thinking about. It was a good process to it. I really enjoyed this movie. It went along very good for me.
Yeah, and it's also about overcoming your courage, overcoming those obstacles in the road. Because against if they would have got caught doing this, they would have been fired, thrown in jail. Worst of all, it's about being strong and courage, and. It's also funny because these maids, they can't eat at the same table. They can't use the same bathroom in the household.
Isn't that crazy? They had an outhouse outside or something.
Yeah, they were going to almost pass a law for them to have a separate bathroom by itself.
That was amazing.
They get all these restrictions, but when it comes to raising people's kids, they are full-fledged. They're, go ahead, raise my kid.
Oh yeah, definitely. They were like third-class citizens. I mean, the dogs came before them. I was amazed. I'm glad I seen this movie. It brought a little bit of light to something I didn't ever thought about, was the prejudice of down south. But, it is what it is, but it was really a good movie. And what we're going to have to do with this movie. We're actually going to get a very high rating. It's actually going to be a sunny day. It's a well-done movie. It's a drama. It makes you think. It makes you laugh. It makes you cry. It enriches you all over the place. It's really a good movie to watch.
Yeah, sunny day. Go to the theater to see take your kids, your family. Kids over 10, so they kind of understand the
if they understand that period, yeah.
The prejudice, so it's only been 50 years since that's happened.
And that's not just that's around the corner in the time past of history.
Yeah.
So it's a great movie. I really recommend seeing this movie. And moving on to the question we had last week, we want you to know if you know the name of this character and what cartoon character what's the name of the cartoon character?
Well, Mike, his name would be Sludger.
That's right. Well, he's wrong. It's actually Slimer.
Oh. Well, I may have gotten it wrong, but Jamie from Bellingham got that question, and the previous 3 all right. So.
And she won this non-possessed sock monkey. Yay!
And for next week's
question, we are moving on. And next week's question, or this week's question for next week, would be, who was the first African-American woman to win an Oscar, and in what movie did she win it in? Send your responses to
our YouTube channel, or you can send them to our email, TheWhetherDudes@gmail.com. TheWhetherDudes, all one word, and whether or not to see the movie. Stay tuned next week when we weather Contagions.